Listen closely. Arnold Schwarzenegger spent over 50 years inside the gym, half a century of lifting, squeezing, and sweating. He didn't just spend a lifetime building the world's greatest physique. He spent it watching others destroy theirs. He witnessed the strongest men in the world, guys with potential you wouldn't believe, blow out their shoulders, ruin their knees, and destroy their backs before they even turned 40. They didn't stop training because they wanted to. They stopped because they had to. To follow in the footsteps of the legends, you have to train smart. We have analyzed the Austrian Oak's philosophy to give you the ultimate protocol. There are 5 exercises that are popular, but they are absolutely killing your longevity. High risk, 0 reward. If you are doing any of these 5 movements, you need to stop immediately. Let's get into the list. Now, before getting to the list, we need to have a serious conversation. It is a conversation that almost no one else is willing to have, because looking at the comments section, looking at the magazines, and looking at the fitness gurus on the internet, the narrative is misleading. They claim that if you are not growing, it is because you are not working hard enough. They preach the grind. They demand you add another hour to the workout. They call you lazy. But that isn't the truth. Look around any gym. You see the sweat. You see the effort. You see the grimace on people's faces. Most guys in the gym are not small because they are lazy. Let's repeat that. You are not small because you lack the will. You are small because you are choosing the wrong exercises. It is that simple, and it is that complicated. Think about it through the lens of business. In finance, there is a saying, most people are not poor because they don't make enough money. They are poor because they spend their money on the wrong things. They take their paycheck and they buy garbage. They buy things that lose value, and at the end of the month, they have nothing to show for their hard work. The human body is exactly the same. Every time you walk into the gym, you have a paycheck of energy. There is a limited amount of glycogen in the muscles, a limited amount of focus in the brain, a limited capacity for recovery in the central nervous system. That is your capital. That is your money. And right now, lifters are walking into the gym and spending that expensive energy on junk exercises. They are spending energy on movements that look cool on Instagram, spending it on exercises that require a lot of skill, a lot of balance, and a lot of danger, but provide very, very little stimulation to the actual muscle fiber. It is an investment in a crash. We see guys doing these complicated movements, swinging cables, jumping on boxes with dumbbells, doing strange twists that look like they are fighting a ghost. They are sweating. They are tired. Their heart rate is up. So they think, I had a great workout. No, you did not have a great workout. You just got tired. There is a massive difference between moving weight and building muscle. You see, the muscle is simple. It does not know how much weight is on the bar. It does not know if you are using a shiny new machine or a rusty dumbbell. It does not know if you look cool. The muscle only understands one language: tension. That is it. Mechanical tension. If an exercise forces you to use momentum, you are losing tension. If an exercise hurts the joint more than it burns the muscle, you are losing tension. If an exercise is so unstable that the focus is on not falling over instead of squeezing the pecs, you are losing tension. And when you lose tension, you lose growth. It is essentially taking energy and flushing it down the toilet. This is why the veterans, the old school guys who really know what they are doing, stick to the basics. It is not because they are old-fashioned. It is not because they don't understand the new science. It is because they understand the return on investment. When performing a set, every single calorie burned should go directly into the muscle belly. No energy wasted stabilizing an ankle. No energy wasted worrying about the lower back snapping. We want 100% of the focus on the squeeze. The exercises about to be banned from your routine. They are the bad investments of the fitness world. They are the exercises that deceive you. They trick you. They make you feel like you are doing something productive because they are difficult. But difficult does not mean effective. Digging a hole with a spoon is difficult, but it is stupid. The goal is to be an architect of the body, not a laborer. A laborer works hard, sweats, and breaks his back, but he has no plan. An architect works smart. He places the steel exactly where it needs to go to support the structure. The 5 exercises on this list, they are the laborer's exercises. They create fatigue without creating a masterpiece. And the worst part, they are dangerous. If you make a bad financial investment, you lose money. You can always make more money. But if you make a bad exercise investment and you tear a pectoral muscle or you slip a disc, you cannot just make more cartilage. You cannot just earn a new rotator cuff. Once it is gone, it is gone. So the mindset needs to change right now before stepping onto the floor. Stop chasing fancy. Stop chasing heavy just for the sake of the number. Start chasing the effect. We are going to review the 5 biggest offenders. These are the exercises that are stealing gains and risking your future. And for each one, there will be a better alternative. An alternative that actually pays you back for your effort. Are you ready to stop wasting time? Are you ready to stop being busy and start being productive? Good. Then let's look at the first exercise. And be warned, this one is going to make a lot of people angry because it is a favorite for many. You are probably sitting there right now thinking, but I do these exercises and I feel fine. My shoulders don't hurt. My knees are okay. This is an overreaction. Listen closely. This is the most dangerous trap in the entire fitness world. The most dangerous injuries do not happen with a loud snap. They do not happen with a scream. They do not happen because a weight was dropped on a foot. Those injuries are easy. You heal, you learn, you move on. No. The exercises on this warning list, they are much more sinister. They are silent assassins. Imagine a beautiful house, a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. It looks perfect. The paint is fresh, the windows are shining, the roof is solid. From the outside, it looks like it will stand for 1,000 years. But deep inside the walls, inside the dark places nobody can see, there are termites, thousands of them. They are eating the wood, slowly, quietly, day after day, bite after bite. The owner of the house, he sleeps soundly. He doesn't hear them. He doesn't see them. He thinks his house is strong. He invites his friends over for parties. He shows off his living room. Then, one day, 5 years later, or maybe 10 years later, there is a small earthquake. Or maybe he just leans against the wall too hard, and the entire structure collapses. The roof comes down. The walls turn to dust. Why? Because the foundation was gone. It was eaten away while he was busy looking at the paint. These 5 exercises, they are the termites of the body. They might give a pump temporarily. They might make muscles look full in the mirror for an hour. They might make you feel strong today, but biomechanically, they are grinding away the joints. Slowly, rep after rep, set after set. One has to understand the anatomy, the muscles. They are amazing things. They are vascular. They have blood flow. If a muscle tears, it gets inflamed, it gets blood, it heals, and it grows back stronger. That is the beauty of bodybuilding. But the joints, the cartilage, the ligaments, they do not have that same luxury. Cartilage does not have a blood supply like a muscle. When you grind it down, it does not grow back. When you wear it out, it is gone. Hasta la vista. Every time these specific movements are performed, it is like taking a piece of sandpaper and rubbing it against the structure. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The damage isn't felt today because the body is resilient in youth. When testosterone is high, when there is youth, the body masks the pain. It compensates. It hides the termites. but the bill is coming due. And trust me, the interest rate is high. We have seen it 1,000 times. There are friends, great champions, who cannot lift their arm above their head to wash their hair. There are guys who have to roll out of bed onto the floor because their backs are fused. They didn't get hit by a bus. They didn't fall off a building. They just did the upright row 3 times a week for 10 years. They just did behind-the-neck presses because they thought it looked cool. They let the termites eat the foundation until it was too late. And the tragedy is, it is completely unnecessary. This is what makes the situation so frustrating. If these exercises were the only way to build big muscles, maybe one would say, okay, it is a sacrifice you have to make. But they are not. For every one of these dangerous exercises, there is a safer, smarter, and more effective alternative. There is a way to build the muscle without feeding the termites. So why do people keep doing them? Habit, ego, ignorance. They see a guy in the gym doing it, so they do it. They see a video from 1990 and they copy it, not realizing that the guy in the video had surgery 2 years later. You need to have a vision for your body, not just for next summer, not just for the beach. You need a vision for age 40, age 50, even older. The goal is to be able to pick up grandchildren and throw them in the air, to be able to carry groceries, to be able to train until the day you die. To do that, we must exterminate the termites right now. We are going to go through these exercises one by one. We will explain exactly why they are eating your joints and provide the weapon to replace them. We are going to stop the grinding. We are going to rebuild the foundation. So, take a deep breath. Clear your mind. Forget what you think you know. Here is the first exercise you need to banish from your program forever. Watch this. Exercise number 1. This exercise has a legendary reputation. If you Google the history of bodybuilding, if you look at the old black and white photos from Muscle Beach, or footage from the filming of Pumping Iron, you will see the legends doing this movement. You will see Schwarzenegger doing it. You will see Franco Columbu doing it. You will see Ed Corney doing it. That era made this exercise famous. We are talking about the behind-the-neck overhead press. It looks impressive, doesn't it? The bar is loaded with plates. It is lowered all the way down to the traps. The chest is puffed out. The lifter looks like a machine. And for decades, the fitness world thought this was the ultimate test of shoulder strength. It was believed that by stretching the chest open and forcing the elbows back, the side deltoids were being hit harder than with any other movement. But they were wrong. They were not hitting the muscle. They were hammering the joint. Here is the biomechanical reality that wasn't fully understood in 1975. The shoulder joint is a ball and socket. It is the most mobile joint in the human body. It allows one to throw a ball, to swim, to punch. But that mobility comes with a price. It is extremely unstable. When a heavy barbell is brought behind the head, the shoulders are forced into a position of extreme external rotation and abduction. In simple terms, the shoulder is being put into a position of maximum vulnerability. Anyone who watches wrestling or MMA knows what a kimura or an Americana lock is. It is a submission hold. The goal is to twist the arm until the shoulder is about to snap, forcing the opponent to tap out. When performing a heavy behind-the-neck press, the lifter is essentially putting their own body into a submission hold. And then they add 200 pounds of iron to the equation. It grinds the rotator cuff tendons against the bone, specifically the acromion. It is like taking a rope and rubbing it against a sharp rock. Over and over again, rub, rub, rub. Every rep is a micro-trauma. You might feel a great stretch. You might think, but the stretch feels so deep. That is not a muscle stretch. That is the shoulder capsule screaming for help. When the legends were young, they got away with it. They had the flexibility. They had the recovery. They had the invincible mindset. But look at the shoulders of almost every bodybuilder from that era today. Surgeries, replacements, constant pain. Most of them cannot even sleep on their side anymore. Is that worth it? Is it worth it for a slightly rounder cap on the deltoid? No, it is absolutely not. The risk-to-reward ratio here is terrible. You are risking a lifelong disability for a muscle that can be built much safer. So what is the alternative? How does one build those boulders, those pumpkin delts, without destroying the mechanism? It is very simple. We respect the anatomy. The solution, the standard front military press. Bring the bar in front of the face. It is that simple. When pressing from the front, look at what happens to the elbows. They come forward slightly. The shoulder blade, the scapula, can move freely. It glides. It is not pinned down. The space in the shoulder joint opens up. You can handle more weight. You can generate more power. And most importantly, you are not grinding the tendon. If the goal is to isolate the deltoid even more, use dumbbells. But even with dumbbells, do not flare the elbows all the way back like wings. Bring them in slightly. Imagine wrapping the arms around a giant tree trunk. This is the scaption plane. It is the natural path of the shoulder. There is an allure to the behind-the-neck press. It looks cool. It looks old school. Everyone wants to look like the guys in the golden era posters. But we have to learn from their mistakes, not just copy their pictures. They didn't have the MRI machines back then. They didn't have the sports science. They just lifted until something broke. You have the knowledge. You have the choice. So the next time you walk up to the squat rack or the Smith machine to do shoulders, do not put the head forward and the bar back. Keep the bar in front. Keep the spine neutral. Keep the shoulders healthy. Because those shoulders are needed to hug family, to throw a ball, and to carry groceries at age 80. Don't trade the future for a cool-looking rep. Now, that was the shoulders. But the next exercise on the list, it is supposed to build the back. It is supposed to provide that V-taper. But in reality, it is slowly severing the spine. Let's move to number 2. Exercise number 2. This is the one that was hinted at earlier. The exercise that is supposed to provide the wings, the V-taper, the back of a cobra. But instead of building a cobra back, most people are building a wheelchair future. We are talking about the barbell bent over row. Now, wait. Before the comments section explodes, the barbell row can be a great exercise. Dorian Yates built a legendary back with it. Ronnie Coleman did it. The legends did it. But, and this is a massive but, they did it with control. What is seen in the gym today is not rowing. It is convulsing. It is a seizure with weights. Walk into any gym and you see the same scenario. A young guy loads the bar with 3 plates on each side. He wraps his straps around the bar. He takes a deep breath. And then, he stands almost completely upright. He bends his knees just a little bit, and then he uses his hips, his legs, and his lower back to violently yank the weight up to his belly button. He is throwing his entire upper body backward to get the weight moving, up and down, jerk and drop, jerk and drop. He thinks he is training his lats. Let's be honest. His lats are barely waking up. His lats are on vacation. Do you know what is taking 90% of the load? The lumbar spine. Let's look at the physics. Physics is great because gravity never lies. Gravity does not care about ego. When the body is bent over, the spine acts like a cantilever. It is a lever. The weight is hanging far away from the center of gravity. The fulcrum, the pivot point, is the lower back, specifically the L4 and L5 vertebrae. When holding the weight statically, the tension is already huge. But when the weight is jerked, when momentum is used, that force is multiplied by 3 or 4 times. Imagine taking a credit card. You bend it. It is fine. You bend it again. It is fine. But if you take that credit card and bend it back and forth violently fast over and over again, what happens? White stress lines appear. The structure weakens. and eventually, snap. That is the spinal disc. The discs are like jelly donuts. They have a soft center and a hard shell. When these ego rows are performed, when momentum is used to swing a weight one cannot actually lift, that donut is being squeezed so hard that the jelly starts to shoot out the back. That is a herniated disc. And here is the truth about back pain. Shoulder pain is bad. Knee pain is annoying. But back pain changes who you are. Back pain takes the soul. You cannot sit. You cannot stand. You cannot sleep. You cannot tie your shoes. It makes a person feel old, weak, and helpless. We have seen massive bodybuilders, guys who looked like monsters, reduced to crying like babies because their sciatic nerve was pinched. And for what? To impress someone on the treadmill? They are not looking. They are looking at their phone. To impress the other guys? They are laughing at the form. So the ego row must stop. Stop using the spine as a crowbar. Here is the rule. If the torso rises more than 15 degrees during the pull, the set is garbage. Count it as 0. But there is a better solution, a solution that takes the risk away completely, allowing for 100% focus on the muscle. The solution? The chest-supported row. Find a T-bar machine with a pad for the chest, or set an incline bench to a low angle and lie face down on it with dumbbells. Glue the chest to the pad. Do not let it move. Now, row. Do you feel the difference? Suddenly, cheating is impossible. The hips cannot be used. There is no swinging. It is humbling. The weight might have to drop by half. That is okay. Put the ego in the trash can. When the chest is supported, the lower back is safe. It is taken out of the equation. Now, the only thing that can move the weight is the lats, the rhomboids, and the traps. The elbows can be pulled back. The squeeze at the top can be held for a full second. The negative can be controlled. This is how a back is built to look like a map of the world. Not by throwing weights around, but by stretching and squeezing under control. Remember, a bodybuilder is a master of isolation. A weightlifter just moves the bar from A to B. Decide who you want to be. If you want to be a powerlifter, learn perfect form. If the goal is to build muscle, use the support. Save the spine for the heavy squats and deadlifts. Don't waste the spine's lifespan on a row. Now, the shoulders are saved. The back is saved. But there is one more joint that takes a beating, the knees. And the next exercise on the list? It is arguably the most popular leg machine in the entire gym. Every gym has one, and everyone uses it. But biomechanically, it is asking the knees to do something they were never designed to do. Let's go to number 3. This one is a tragedy, because it is arguably the most popular machine in the gym. Every gym has one. Usually they have 3 or 4 of them, and they are always full. We are talking about the seated leg extension machine. Everyone knows the one. You sit down comfortably. It has nice back support. The user can check Instagram. They can text their girlfriend. It feels safe. It feels easy. It feels civilized. It is the lazy man's squat. And that is exactly why it is destroying knees. Consider the natural movement of the human body. Humans are designed to run, designed to jump, designed to squat down and pick things up. In all of those natural movements, the foot is on the ground. It is what is called a closed kinetic chain movement. The force goes through the floor, up the shin, through the knee, and into the hip. The joint is compressed. It is stable. But the leg extension, it is an abomination of nature. It is the only time in life where a person sits on their butt and violently kicks a heavy weight attached to their ankles. Think about the physics here. It is terrifying if one really understands it. The weight is resting on the ankles. The knee is the fulcrum. The resistance is trying to pull the lower leg, the tibia, away from the upper leg, the femur. This creates something called shearing force. Imagine a dresser drawer. If you pull the drawer straight out, it slides. That is what the leg extension is trying to do to the knee. It is trying to slide the shin bone forward out of the joint. What is stopping the knee from exploding? One tiny little ligament, the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament. That little piece of tissue is the only thing fighting against a stack of 200 pounds of steel. The lifter is essentially using their ACL as a brake cable, and eventually, the cable frays. The cable snaps. We see guys loading the whole stack. They are gripping the handles, screaming, kicking the weight up. They think they are building the teardrop muscle. They are not building muscle. They are grinding the cartilage behind the kneecap into dust. If you place a hand on the knee while doing heavy extensions, you can often feel it. Crunch, 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 like stepping on snow. That sound, that is the sound of longevity leaving the building. Now the counter-argument is always the same. But Tom Platz did them. The legends did them. Yes, they did. But they used them differently. They used them at the very end of a workout with light weight, just to flush blood into the muscle. They did not use them to build mass. They did not try to break records on the leg extension. The problem is that today, people use this as their main leg exercise because squats are hard, because lunges are uncomfortable. They choose comfort over function, and they pay for it with chronic tendinitis. If the goal is big legs, legs that are strong, athletic, and functional, one has to suffer a little bit. You have to do the movements that the body was designed to do, so step away from the comfortable chair. Cancel the membership to the Lazy Leg Club. The solution, the Bulgarian split squat. We know you hate them. Everyone hates them. They are painful. They are difficult. They make you gasp for air. They make you want to quit. But that is exactly why they work. Put one foot behind on a bench. Put the other foot forward. Hold a dumbbell in each hand and drop down. Look at the mechanics now. It is beautiful. The foot is on the floor. The chain is closed. The force is compressing the joint, not shearing it. The glute is firing. The hamstring is firing. The quad is stretching under a massive load. It isn't just building muscle. It is building balance. It is building athleticism. It is bulletproofing the knee instead of destroying it. If you can do heavy Bulgarian split squats with good form, the knees will be made of steel. If you do heavy leg extensions, the knees will be made of glass. It is a simple choice. Do you want to look good sitting down, or do you want to be strong standing up? Embrace the difficulty. Embrace the balance. Stop kicking the air and start pushing the earth. We have fixed the shoulders. We have saved the back. We have rescued the knees. But now, we have to talk about the midsection, the abs, the core, because the next exercise on the list, it is responsible for more mystery back pain than anything else. It is an exercise that everyone learns in elementary school. It is an exercise the military used for 50 years, and it is completely wrong. If you want a six-pack without a slipped disc, you need to stop doing this next movement immediately. Let's go to number 4. This is the zombie of the fitness world. It refuses to die. Generations of men and women have been brainwashed into doing this. It was done in gym class at age 12. The military did it for 50 years. Every Rocky movie has a montage of it. We are talking about the classic sit-up. And here is the reality. If the goal is back pain, if the goal is a herniated disc, and listen closely, if the goal is for the stomach to actually look bigger, then keep doing sit-ups. But if the goal is a tight, strong core, this madness needs to stop immediately. Let's look at what actually happens when the feet are hooked under the couch or under the machine and the body is pulled up. People think they are isolating their abdominals. They feel a burn, so they assume it is working, but they are being tricked. The abdominals, the six-pack, their main job is to curl the rib cage toward the pelvis. That is a very small range of motion, maybe 30 degrees. Once that point is passed, once the lower back lifts off the floor to sit all the way up, the abs turn off. They become static, and do you know who takes over? The psoas, the hip flexors. These are powerful, thick ropes of muscle that connect the thigh bone to the lumbar spine. So every time the body is yanked up to the knees, the abs are not being trained. The hip flexors are being trained to pull the lower spine forward. It creates a massive shearing force on the lumbar discs. It is like a game of tug-of-war, and the spine is the rope. Repeat this for 100 reps a day. Yank, yank, yank. Eventually, the psoas gets so tight, so short, that it pulls the lower back into a permanent arch. This is called anterior pelvic tilt. And here is the irony. Here is the joke. When the pelvis tilts forward because of tight hip flexors, the gut spills out. You get that little pooch belly, even if you are skinny. So people are doing sit-ups to get a flat stomach. But the sit-ups are mechanically forcing the stomach to stick out. It is insanity. And let's talk about the neck. How many people finish a set of sit-ups or crunches and the abs are fine, but the neck hurts? It is because they are pulling on their head like they are trying to rip it off. They are damaging the cervical spine to destroy the lumbar spine. It is a double disaster. The world's top spine mechanics experts, guys like Dr. Stuart McGill, have proven this in the lab. The spine has a limited number of bending cycles. It is like a wire coat hanger. You can bend it back and forth for a while, but eventually it fatigues and it snaps. Why waste those precious bends on an exercise that makes the physique look worse? The core was not designed to curl up like a shrimp. Think about a Greek statue. Think about a gladiator. Think about a strong man carrying a heavy log. Does he curl up? No. He stands tall. He is rigid. His core is a pillar of stone. The true function of the abs is anti-motion. Its job is to prevent the spine from breaking. Its job is to transfer power from the legs to the arms without leaking energy. So the sit-up belongs in the trash, right next to the leg extension. The solution, the plank and the rollout. Beginners should start with the plank, but not the lazy plank where the hips sag. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the fists. Pull the elbows toward the toes. Create massive tension. 30 seconds of a hard-style plank is worth 1,000 sit-ups. But if the goal is mastery, if the goal is deep, blocky abs that look like cobblestones, get an ab wheel or use a barbell. Get on the knees. Keep the back straight. Brace the stomach as if taking a punch. And roll the wheel out. Go as far as possible without the back arching. And then pull back. Do you feel that? That is the entire core screaming to protect the spine. That is pure stabilization. That is how to build a midsection that is not just for show, but for go. When rollouts are performed, the muscle is lengthened under tension. The fascia is stretched. This creates that flat, tight vacuum look that everyone wants. Stop curling, start bracing. Stop trying to become a ball, start becoming a tree trunk. We have one last exercise to cover, and this one is tragic because it is usually done by the people who are trying the hardest, the people who want to burn fat, the people who want to lose weight. They think they are doing cardio. They think they are being healthy, but actually, they are destroying their metabolism and eating away their own muscle tissue. This is the final nail in the coffin. Let's finish this. Exercise number 5. This is the final mistake. And it is the most tragic one because it is committed by the people with the very best intentions. We see them every single day. They want to lose weight. They want to get shredded. They are desperate to see their abs. So, what do? They jump on the treadmill. They hit the pavement. And they run, and run, and run, for 45 minutes, for an hour, Day after day, pounding the pavement, thump, thump, thump. They look miserable. They are gasping for air. They are sweating buckets. And the thought process is always the same. I am burning fat. Here is the bad news. They are not just burning fat. They are burning the very machinery that burns the fat. They are incinerating muscle tissue. We are talking about chronic, steady-state jogging. Consider the evidence. There is a reason why a marathon runner looks one way and a sprinter looks completely different. The marathon runner is efficient but emaciated. Their body has shed every ounce of unnecessary weight to survive the long distance. And to the body, big biceps, a broad chest, thick legs, that is all unnecessary weight. When someone runs for long distances at a medium pace, they are bathing the body in cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is the enemy of the bodybuilder. It is the anti-testosterone. It signals the body to hold on to visceral belly fat and to eat muscle tissue for energy. It is literally eating the physique alive. And the joints? My God! Every step taken while jogging puts 3 times the body's weight onto the knees and ankles. Do the math. Running for 3 miles equals thousands of impacts, thousands of hammer blows to the cartilage. It destroys the knees to build a body that looks flat, soft, and tired. This is not the look of a champion. This is the look of a survivor. The goal is not to survive. The goal is to thrive. You need a heart that is strong, yes, but one does not need to sacrifice muscle to get it. The solution, walking or sprints. It is the extremes that work. The middle ground is the kill zone. Option A, the walk. Walking is underrated. Riding a bike works too. It is low impact. It relaxes the mind. It lowers cortisol. It burns pure fat without stripping away the hard-earned muscle. It is sustainable every single day until the age of 100. Option B, the sprint. High-intensity interval training, going all out for 30 seconds, like a tiger chasing a deer. Then rest. This triggers the fast-twitch muscle fibers. It spikes growth hormone. It preserves muscle while stripping the fat. Just look at the sprinters in the Olympics. They are jacked. They are powerful. They look like Greek gods. Be a sprinter or be a walker, but do not be a hamster on a wheel. So, there you have it. The behind-the-neck press, the ego row, the leg extension, the sit-up, the chronic jogging. These are the 5 enemies. These are the termites eating away at the foundation. Now, we leave you with one final thought. It is the philosophy that guided a young man from a little village in Austria to the stage of Mr. Olympia, to the heights of Hollywood, and finally to the governor's mansion. The body is not just a machine. It is a work of art. The athlete is the sculptor, but the athlete is also the clay. It is a very difficult position to be in because the sculptor must hurt the clay to make it beautiful. He chisels it. He hammers it. But a master sculptor, he never strikes the stone by accident. He never hits the chisel just to make noise. He never cracks the marble just to show the world how strong he is. Every strike has a purpose. Every movement is calculated. Every rep is a brushstroke. If one trains with ego, if one trains with these garbage exercises, it is like taking a sledgehammer to a statue. It cracks the marble. It ruins the masterpiece before it is even finished. Treat the body with respect. Train with intelligence, because this body is the only house you have to live in for the rest of your life. You cannot move out, so build a fortress. Build a temple, not a ruin. Take these 5 exercises out of the routine today. Replace them with the superior tools provided. And this is a promise in 10 years, in 20 years. The future self will look back and say, thank you. This is the blueprint of a legend, and we will see you in the gym.